it's Jessie V. So today's V time is pretty creepy, which probably isn't very surprising to you guys, because most of my V times are creepy, aren't they? What is my life? I need a reality TV show for real. So this happened to me when I was younger, probably around 12. I'm not positive though. I used to go up to my grandparents' house like twice a week to spend time with them. In fact, my parents and I actually lived with them for a couple of years while we looked for a house. Because for those of you who didn't know, I grew up like the first few years of my childhood. I lived in Antigua, which is an island close to Barbados. That's probably the closest island you guys would be familiar with. But yeah, my childhood I grew up on the islands, which is weird because I'm like pale as hell. But yeah, when we left Antigua, we had nowhere to live in Canada, so we had to stay with my grandparents for a few years. And living in my grandparents' basement was pretty cool actually. We were basement dwellers. My grandparents spoiled me like crazy, and I don't think I was ever hungry because grandma was always cooking. The only time that sucked while living there was the time I cracked open my nose and had to go to the hospital. I had been playing hide and seek with my sister, and for some reason we had this rule that while you were looking for the other person, you had to close your eyes because it made the game that much harder. And so I basically ran right into a table, and because I was short, the table edge hit me right in the nose, and then there was just blood and stitches all around. But yeah, let me get into my main story now. The day that this happened, my sister and I were out for a walk with my grandparents. There was this beautiful graveyard right beside our neighborhood, and for some reason that was like our favorite place to go. It had tons and tons of these beautiful pink magnolia trees there, so it was like this amazing other world. It's so crazy that my sister and I at such a young age found a graveyard that interesting. But yeah, my grandma would pack her famous tuna sandwiches, and we'd go to this graveyard and sit on the benches and eat and talk and have a good time. Sometimes we would go over and get some ice cream after. I always got mint chocolate chip, the best. But yeah, this particular day we had spent some time in the graveyard, and as we were leaving to go back home, we saw something extremely scary and creepy. It's something so disturbing that I still think about it from time to time. Walking down the street was this man who looked completely dazed. He was alone and almost limping when he walked. But the scariest part was that his shirt, his arms, and his hands were just covered in blood. He was shaking and pretty much looked like he was about to pass out. Now you gotta imagine our point of view. This guy was covered in blood and was just walking down the middle of the road with cars swerving around him. So we were both shocked and confused. My grandpa instinctively got right in front of my sister and I in case this guy started walking towards us. And as he's walking down this road, we could hear him saying all of these weird things like, "I'm sorry, I didn't want to do it, I didn't mean to do it, I just had to," all these weird things he was mumbling. And then he walks over to this woman on the sidewalk with a stroller and a baby, and he asks her to like help him. I don't know, which really scares my grandpa at this point because he's worried about this lady. So he begins to walk over, but then like 5 police cars just zoom down the road and surround this guy. They literally like tackled him to the ground. And then we were told to go home, and I have no idea what happened after that. I just remember not being able to sleep for like a week because of how scary that man looked. It's not often you see someone walking down the middle of the road just covered in blood, and it was announced that there was a murder right near that area like a day later. So you could definitely say that we were really freaked out. And a couple years ago on the news, it was announced that there was a whole bunch of different body parts in the river right near where that man was walking. I'm not saying they're connected in any way, but it's just scary that that road right beside our neighborhood had all that weird stuff happening. I don't know, guys. It's really strange and a really creepy story, so I hope I didn't, you know, freak you out too much. But yeah, that is the end of my V time. As usual, my social media information is in the description, along with my vlog channel and my PO box information, so yeah, check it out. And until next time, guys, bye!